Essa cerimônia oficial dará a Peter e Hamian muitos direitos iguais aos de um casamento civil.
Welkom jullie allen die bij deze voor Piet en Harm-Jan zo belangrijke dag.
It's like in a normal marriage, it's meant to be forever. Well, forever means also getting all together, so.
In de film zegt de voorganger dan, kiss the bride. Ik nodig u uit om daar te feliciteren.
In many countries, they are looking to the Netherlands as the country everything is allowed or everything is possible. And they are making jokes about it. But our policy on homosexuality is a professional one and a serious one. We know that it makes no difference in the professional skills of our sailors and soldiers, if he is a heterosexual or a homosexual. But that doesn't mean that we are tolerant on every subject in life, because the bottom line is that we want to have professional sailors and soldiers in our armed forces.
Dos soldados profissionais no singularmente liberal exército holandês é o coronel Henny Holtel.
I was in Bosnia with the European Commission monitoring mission. The unit I commanded was some 12 observer teams, and it was spread all over the Krajina, Croatia, and Bihać. My commanding officer was a retired German Air Force colonel who knew that I was gay. I told him. It never had been an issue between us. And his chief of operations was a former British major, and he knew as well. And it never was an issue between us, because he was a professional. As a gay lieutenant colonel, I became commander of the Dutch contingent in Angola. That afterwards, when I came back from Angola, they promoted me to full colonel. And everyone in Holland knows that I'm gay. I'm not making a secret out of that. Certainly not. I couldn't even, if I want to.
Mas o veto a homossexuais ainda era oficial quando Henny Holtel se formou na Academia Militar Holandesa em 1972. Ele se lembra de como se sentia.
You get so fed up with it, with acting, with not being able to present your boyfriend to your colleagues, to your friends, by always having to lead a double life. Friends were visiting me. I went through my bookcase and took away books with gay titles, gay newspapers or gay magazines, just to make sure that no one could ever come to the idea that you might be gay. I more or less had a breakdown, and I had counseling for almost 6 years, every week, just to make me live with the fact that I'm gay, that I am the way I am, and that I cannot change it. It's not a matter of choice. It's not a matter of things you choose for voluntarily. It happens to you. And the only thing you can do is live with it.
About 50% of all the soldiers in the Netherlands Armed Forces in 1990 said that they kept some distance to homosexuals, and they didn't like to talk or to work with them. So that was the starter of our policy to change that situation.
A mudança na Holanda foi fundamental. Seminários antidiscriminação e programas de treinamento foram patrocinados pelo Ministério da Defesa. 10 anos depois, a Fundação pela Homossexualidade nas Forças Armadas incentiva as carreiras militares no Festival Anual de Gays.
It is so important for the Dutch Ministry of Defense to have a foundation which speaks for the benefit of the homosexuals in the Netherlands Armed Forces.
Mesmo que a homossexualidade esteja inserida na política das Forças Armadas holandesas há 20 anos, ainda há casos de preconceito e discriminação. Henny Holtel, que foi diretor da Fundação pela Homossexualidade durante 8 anos, sabe que o problema continua.
What you mean is the general attitude, the culture, and that's something you won't change overnight. Laws you can change in one night. Culture takes ages. It takes a lifetime.
Gentlemen, the Queen.
The Queen.
When it's all over, and when the band's gone, then there is going to be grief. I know, it's got to come out sometime, because it was everything that I lived for. I mean, I was Navy through and through. That's what I wanted to be, and at some stage I'm going to have to cry for it.
I hope that the ban is not lifted. I understand the present government policy is that they will review this situation during the lifetime of this present Parliament. I just hope that our chiefs make quite clear to ministers the very strong feelings that are held in the services about this matter.
I think what is surprising is that what is essentially gut reaction should be given the status of policy almost. That you should be taking examples of clear discrimination, clear, I suppose what we call homophobia, and using that as the basis for erecting a policy. The evidence of the Second World War would suggest that homosexuals served with considerable distinction, many of them winning awards for gallantry and so on, without any loss of fighting effectiveness. And indeed there are plenty of cases where they may well have contributed very positively to fighting effectiveness.
I never found anyone a coward under fire. In fact, we practically revelled in it. We felt as if we were the heroines, I think, in an Errol Flynn picture. I think I did my bit for my country. I can say I was always in action one way or the other. And I think I made a lot of boys happy.
What you do in your spare time is up to you, and as far as I can see, I can't see that it makes any difference whether you're sleeping with somebody of your own sex or somebody of the opposite sex. If it is affecting your work, and your work is being in the armed services, then yes, I think you should be disciplined.
One of the reasons that the people of my generation fought the Nazis was because the Nazis were condemning people for what they were and not for what they have done. And I can see absolutely no difference in principle between that and the British system of turfing people out of the armed forces for what they were. These men want to serve their country. And that's not an ignoble wish, I should have thought. Or perhaps it is these days, I don't know.
While you're away, oh please remember